Okay, today, early in the morning, trying to make another documentary, trying to see what else is gonna happen. Yesterday seemed like we found some games that was pretty cool. I guess it seemed like some other, like some firefighter problems games and some other police games. You know, the problems that police be having and they be solving and doing. And if you want to be a police, those are the problems that you got to be good at and solve it pretty easy or solve it pretty well. You know, and then firefighters, they got their problems and then you got to learn how to solve it pretty well. Use your tools and your abilities and stuff, your strengths and your smarts and stuff to solve it and get it right. So it's like, yeah, we got a lot of other stuff. Let's see how we do it. There was like some sirens and I guess we got some other stuff, but it's like, yeah, we still gonna figure out some other things that's going on. So we got to do today's, try to get some more excitement. We got some yesterday a little bit, but I got like 1 minute or like about 2 minutes of the video of a siren going by. We made it to figuring out an EMS truck going to do some mission and trying to save some life or get to something that called for an emergency problem, so they got to go and solve it. So there's like other things, and we're trying to make other things work. So we getting there and making all these other stuff, trying to solve some more problems. Seeing talking about sending some problems to some other stuff, learning how to do it, how to fight. You know, if you use a knife problem, it could be solved some ways, and it could also solve some things some ways, and it does a whole bunch of other stuff, and things just be working some other ways. Seem like there's some stars out, and it be showing up, and we still doing it, trying to hear all the stuff, trying to get the listening problem stuff right, what my ears could really solve. It could probably hear a whole lot of other stuff. If it could hear from miles away, or it could hear only just a certain distance because it's not that good of a problem solver, or I'm not that good at it. But if I'm really good at it, I could hear from different stuff and hear other stuff, probably even good enough to know the formula to actually get to some impossible stuff like hearing ghosts and hearing souls and hearing like different dimensions and different stuff, like some heroic stuff. So you got to solve the heroic sounds and the heroic missions and all these other things, trying to get them right, and you hear and know what to do with it, learn how to do it if those problems come to you, and that's what you got to solve for your life so that you can move on and keep doing the rest of the stuff. And we're doing a lot of other things, like finding some other things that's going on. So let's see, we got 30 minutes of this, and we're still working on some other stuff, hearing all these other sounds. If the sounds are too fast for you, trying to solve it so that it will sound normal to you. But even though it's like some light speed and some other stuff, and you still got to solve it so that you can notice that it really is and it's not something else, but you could actually notice that it came from light speed and could actually get there and figure out how to solve it, or it came from a long distance, learning how to track it, solving the tracking problem, how well and how good it is. If you could solve like billions of light years from here, it's something that's really hard, like some impossible stuff that you got to use. So we working at some other stuff, trying to learn how to control my my MySpace right, and doing some other stuff. I be hearing some thoughts in it, solving some other stuff in it, trying to figure out the movements and trying to get the picture up. And I know it's like some people probably ain't gonna know who it is, so it's gonna be kind of hard. Can't solve that one yet since it's being blocked from people letting me know how to put a picture up, and some other things that has been blocked. So I got to figure out how to solve that and get to it, figure out what else I need, and to put the combos together to do some other stuff. So what else could be solved? Like, okay, moving on water. You learn how to do the boat thing and canoes and all these other things to make that, which was pretty cool. And how they made fire, which was pretty nice. Learning how to make fire, which was like ways to solve and make fires. There's other formulas and other ways to start a fire. So there's a whole bunch of other stuff, like to get water from the atmosphere. Some people know some different tricks and different other ideas and seeing what you do and what to make it. But you're learning all these other styles, like different people got different controls, so you can't always follow the everybody if you don't have the same control, and it's gonna mess you up and you got different rules with it. But if you can't follow them and you could easily copy them and easily follow and do the same thing that they do, I guess you could do it. Hopefully I could collect enough stuff, enough subscribers and followers and stuff to get the money and to be able to help out with some other stuff and pay and do some other stuff, get people out of some trouble and get them some safety and some enjoyment and some other stuff. So I'm working at it, trying to see if I could get to 10 minutes and probably not 15 minutes if I can, and get some other stuff going on. So I see if I could really learn how to move at different speeds and different speeds controls, all these other problems that's coming. So I got to do everything right and see. So sometimes I'll be slowing. I don't know why. Well, sometimes I feel like it's a little heavier, so I'll be slowing, but still that stuff be moving like regular speed sometimes. But sometimes it look like my pressure be just slowing down some things too. And it's like, yeah. So I just thinking a whole nother thing, and then it'll be like, yeah, I'm feeling slower. I know how to move my different speeds and different stuff. If I figure out how to solve everything, learn how to change to light speed and come back to that in a second to me, or it could be like in seconds, changing back and forth and doing all these other things and solving all these other tricks, learning how to sense some other problems that they probably got to solve in an instant, see who could solve it faster and who could actually break it. Like, how to evade it, how to phase through it or something, how to solve it with some other styles of doing it. But it's like, yeah, sometimes you just gonna miss. And if they can't solve it, I guess I could just, doing some other things to it. And, it's like, yeah, you've been working at it, getting smarter and working at this. So if you got a time limit to it, you got to do some speeds, problems, and all these other things. And working out my stuff, working out my strength, trying to get the strength up. The strength formula is like, yeah. And my eyes are seeing some other stuff. I don't know what else I'll be solving too. Trying to get the vision solver right, because I got a whole bunch of other problems. Maybe I could see some other things that some people can't do, and see some other things where I do be seeing something that seems pretty cool. But maybe some people will be seeing it and other people be solving it pretty easy. If you see like a bird or like, the mantis shrimp. The mantis shrimp sees in a certain different colors and stuff. And all these other things look differently to you. Like, how your friends look to you. Like, they probably could look different to some other people depending on how their eyes see it and solve it and get the answers right. Like if they see different colors, or maybe they see in an x-ray so they look like bones and stuff. And your face, it depends on how you solve the x-ray too, since it shows a whole bunch of different x-ray designs. Like, it's pretty cool. I like the look designs. If I solve all those different designs and see all these other things, like you just seen heat or something, there's like so many different stuff, like different colors in the eyes. Maybe things look a little brighter, or things look a little darker, or things look like different colors, like inverted or some other stuff. There's so many ways that they see, because that's how they solve it. And if you could see distance, trying to see how far stuff is, it's pretty hard if you figure out some better ways to solve and get the answer, like little miniature stuff. So you gotta see like pretty far away, and some other stuff being big to you, and you gotta learn how to move around and do all these stuff. Like all these, if you switch to a miniature It's like a whole different style of solving, and you know your problems are gonna be kind of like something is probably gonna be either bigger or heavier, or you know, or yeah, the distance is probably gonna get harder unless you learn how to move fast enough. And if you see fast enough, or they might get faster than you, or you still got to learn how to do the design so that you don't really get too weak and get crushed, or you know. But ants are pretty strong, like they tiny, but they could lift some real heavy stuff. And some animals also got some strength that could lift some real heavy stuff that's bigger than them, even though they're small. But it's still pretty cool. There's like all these other ways that they found some other things. Hey, we got 10 minutes. Still doing this and trying to learn some other tricks to actually make it. I guess if everything works out, I'll make a lot of good stuff and make some other tricks. About to go to work today and go do the work jobs and see what problems is gonna send me. And let's see if I could do it right. Hopefully I don't really move slowly again. Maybe I have to do it again sometimes to keep up with all the other sounds and all these other things that's moving. If it sounds way too slow for you to hear, you probably got to slow down and actually answer it right. Or if it sounds way too fast for you, you got to speed up and try to catch it right, or some other stuff. There's so many different ways. Like you got to see it, and you got to either slow down to see it or speed up to see it. And there's so many different things. You got to solve it pretty quickly or pretty slowly, or do all these other things. And there's a whole bunch of other ways that you got to find all these other things too. So I'm working, and I'm working at it, getting better at it. Maybe I might get some more viewers to actually view, and some subscribers. I got some followers adding. I got some viewers too. And if it collects a lot more viewers, it'll be good. And let's see what battles I got with this. Trying to see, it's not like somebody using a video to actually blind some people, or probably shock some people, or you know, send some other attacks to some people, make them confused or wrong. You know, there's a whole bunch of other stuff, and there's some things that the videos do. I hope mine's heroic enough to save and do some pretty good stuff. And let's see if we do a lot more things and make something good. Let's see if it could protect. It depends on all the thoughts around it, and how it fights and how it defends, and all these other tricks. So we get in there, if we got some heroic stuff that defends right and could protect right, and let's see if it's villainous, or if it attacks and destroys stuff, and you know, probably cause some problems that probably is not good for the right thing, for the good stuff. And you know, that's how we do it, and we're still having fun. And there's some other stuff showing how to make your stuff, and other ways of fighting, learning how to solve the fighting problems. So if I get in a fight, I got to see how to fight, like fists coming at you, weapons coming at you, different thoughts, different tricks, different stuff, you know, moves, strengths, and all these other stuff. Reaction, trying to dodge, trying to block, trying to stop, you know, all these other stuff. Learn how to kick and punch at the right time, and dodge and spin, and all these other things that you got to use. If you think right, you could put all the combos right together. You know, it's like you got to have so many different ways to make it flow fluently. And I guess those combos are pretty cool. And if I get my brain working and moving a lot of these, I guess we get to have fun and do a lot of cool stuff, like real stuff, not some fake stuff that is probably like you messed up and, you know, try to miss. And we try to get a perfection going on and see all the different combos you can move together for all these different attacks that you got, and different strands that you got, and speeds. And you know, you see something cool. If you get everything working right, you probably show a pretty cool design for it. And I guess lots of people probably gonna love it if I do it for that. Could actually attack to get a lot of love and a lot of excitement going on, and enjoyment and stuff. And we're still working, like people like watching it. So I guess maybe they like watching me moving in slow motion sometimes. Well, I be hearing some thoughts, like, you know, some thoughts be going on while I'm doing the slow motion, and while I'm doing the rest of the other stuff and all these other sounds. that I be hearing some other things like, seem like there's some problems going on that I probably would have missed if I wasn't listening at that speed and all these other things too. So it's like, yeah, got to get everything right and solve it right. Hopefully I don't miss and make something wrong. So it's like 15 minutes. I guess it's pretty good. Trying to see a moon, car passing by, another car. And I guess I saw them. And if I got anything else to see that I'm not solving right, like if there's some other stuff passing by, either it's too fast, invisible, or something else, like we seen too far or something, or the sounds that passed by that I couldn't get and try to notice the truth about it. So no birds right now. I haven't heard no birds, but I'm hearing, okay, I just heard one. But I just hear some chirping, some creaking by some crickets. I guess those are what I'll be hearing and what other stuff we got in here, what other problems we got in here that we could get. So, and if it's telepathies also solving and getting them and getting all these other stuff, trying to get some pinpointing to and some status. When we solve the status and I could notice what status they in, if they confused, if they in burnt, or if they in anger, all these other stuff, trying to figure it out. I could sense it right and get all that one right and solve it pretty easy, so I could notice that I'm still not an illusion, or in the reals, and still in the truth, and all these other things. If it's strong enough and it can't get wrecked, I get to enjoy it and work it out pretty well. So I'm doing a lot of other stuff. We got a whole bunch of other things that we did, and I made a whole bunch of designs, but not all of them I'm gonna tell you yet, but I'm still working at it. If you figure out some other things that you got that you trying to do, it's pretty cool, and I see that you can enjoy life as you figure out all your problems and make it to heaven like God intends you to do. And if you learn everything right, I guess I'm trying to get mine right. So I got to pick my right choices that God let me pick, and I get a pick that He gave me to do. So I hope life becomes pretty good and we get to enjoy it. All right, thanks.